This video is supported in part by Retro Days, a place for nostalgia nerds to gather, share memories, chat, and engage. Go to retrodays.com or check their YouTube channel linked below.
So my GXG buddy John gave me this awesome marquee from one of my favorite video games growing up. It was Robotron 2084. I had a choice. I could either spend like a half hour and buy a frame and just put it up on my wall, or I could present it the way it's supposed to be, which is with really cool backlighting. The first option would take me like maybe a half hour going online. The second one, I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but guess which direction I chose.
Don't you know that you're a grown up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown up.
Hi, welcome to GenXGrownUp. My name is Mo and I am a GenXGrownUp. When I decided to take on this project to build my own light box, I really had 4 criteria I really wanted to make sure I met. The first one is I wanted to use as much off-the-shelf product as I can. I wanted this to be fairly easy to build and easy enough though so pretty much anybody could do this. I also didn't want this to have any hotspots behind it. That would make this look so terrible. And what a hotspot is when one part of the marquee is brighter than the other. So I needed to make sure that I had some really great even lighting behind the whole thing. I didn't want this to cost a fortune. John makes me spend enough money as is, so I really wanted to make sure that I made this like that was affordable and still have some really good results with it. And the last criteria I had is I needed the lighting to be adjustable. Now this is because I wasn't sure where I was going to display it, and depending on where it was and the brightness of the room or space that it's in, I want to be able to adjust the light so that I could show this marquee in its great wonderful glory. So I think I came up with something that works pretty well. In this video, I'll show you how you can build a light box to show off an awesome marquee or something similar. At the very start of this project, I can tell you the first thing I did was look to see if somebody already sold something that would work. I looked in all the usual places, Amazon, eBay, etc, etc. I couldn't find anybody who built something like this that wasn't going to charge an arm and a leg to build a custom version of it. Not being able to buy my way out of this problem, I came up with this idea for building my own light box. In order for my idea to work, it all hinged on me being able to find a picture frame that had the correct dimensions. This is because that picture frame was going to be the basis for how I built my light box. Everyone knows a standard picture frame comes with 3 parts. You have the frame itself, some sort of transparent cover, either glass or plexiglass, and a stiff backing to go behind your picture. My plan was to paint the backing white and add the lights to it. Then I was going to build out the frame so that it was away from the lights so to remove any hot spots that would occur. And then I would attach the marquee to the transparent cover itself and then put the whole thing together. I mean, it sounded pretty simple. So here's a list of the things I bought to put together my light box. So I found a frame on Amazon that was pretty close to the dimensions I needed for my marquee. I also got some black paint for painting the frame, some white high gloss oil-based paint because I wanted something very reflective on the backboard, some cheap sponge brushes because I didn't want to have to wash oil-based paint off my existing brushes, a small paintbrush for the acrylic paint, some small number 10 tacks, a roll of LED under cabinet light tape, which was very important to this project, various glues, a tarp because I could definitely be a slob, and some 1x2s cut down to the dimensions of the frame. Now I was ready to put the whole thing together. But first, if you haven't subscribed, please take a second, click that button that's appearing on the screen right now, and subscribe to our channel. That way you'll be notified whenever we upload other amazing content like this. So the first thing I did was take the 1x2s and create a frame that was the same dimensions as the picture frame that I bought. Then I painted the backboard that came with the picture frame using the gloss white paint and the foam brushes. As I expected, the backboard itself soaked up a lot of paint, so it took 2 coats. Getting this correct was really important because I needed that high gloss finish to help reflect the light. And then I painted the frame black to match the picture frame that I bought. Then I attached the backboard to my frame using the tacks that I purchased. After that was done, I drilled a hole through the frame so I could feed in the LED light tape. The light tape actually has a sticky back, so really just a matter of taking off the paper and putting the lights as evenly as I can across the entire board. And then using Gorilla Glue, I connected the picture frame I bought to my frame that I built out with the 1x2s. For anybody who's into 3D printing, I found that filament boxes make excellent weights to hold things down. And then I just turned it over and tried it out, and voila, I had light. So I had 2 issues with the actual marquee itself. One was that it was just slightly too long. And when I say slightly, I mean like 1/8 of an inch too long for the frame I bought. And as far as the height, it was a little too short by maybe 1/4 inch total. So I trimmed down the marquee just a hair so it would fit, and then I used black tape to actually hold it to the glass that came with the frame itself, and also it would kind of hide the bottom and the fact that it was a little too small. Then it was just a matter of doing some touch-up paint and then putting the marquee inside the frame, and I'm done. The whole thing came to about 90 bucks, which I know seems like a lot, but I tell you, the picture frame I bought actually came with 2 frames in it, which I bought just in case I totally screwed this thing up. And if I decided to make another one with the supplies I already bought, all I would have to get is another light kit and some more frame board. So to build another one, it would actually cost me about $16, which I totally plan on doing because I went out and bought a Cubert marquee after I built this one. Now let's talk about time. Well, how long did it take me to do all this? Okay, not counting time to wait for paint to dry and all that other stuff. It was about a 2 or 3 hour job, which isn't horrible. Next time I build one, I'm sure I'll be able to even cut that time even more. A lot of it was kind of making sure things would work the way I expected them to. So is there anything that I would have done differently having built the first one? Yes, for sure. Like I said, this was a prototype, so the next one I build I think is going to be even better. The 2 things I would definitely change right off the bat is, even though I said you could reuse the paint, I probably would go ahead and buy just spray paint and use spray paint instead. It's a lot quicker, it'll give you a lot more even coat on the backboards and on the frame, and I think it'd just make the project easier to do. The second thing is, I wouldn't have used the 1x2s to build out the framing because it had a really, really thick border, 1 inch obviously. So if you look real carefully, you could see like a slightly dark edge around the edge of the marquee, which unless you're looking for it, you probably wouldn't see it, but of course since I built it, I see it all the time. So I would use probably a thinner material, maybe some 1/2 inch MDF or something similar to build out like a thinner frame. So the final question is, was this all worth it? Well, yes it was.
Hey, you made it to the end. If you liked this video, the best way to say thanks is to watch one more. Here are a couple suggestions that you just might enjoy. And if you love our content, maybe consider becoming a Patreon supporter by following the link on screen.
Unacceptable for grown-ups. Your dinner cannot just be French fries.